We went from negative $27 in our bank account to owning 3 acres of beautiful land, left our city life behind, and arrived here in just 34 days. No banks, because, man, them banks. No credit checks, no qualifications, just $300 down. All because my wife found the type of website that banks hope you never discover. In this video, I'm gonna walk you through the site we use to find and acquire our land, and I'm gonna share with you an easy 3-step process that we use to get rid of that old life that we were not happy with and arrive here in just over a month. And if you stick around to the end, I'm gonna share with you something that I've learned over the years that will open up exponentially more options for you than we ever had way back when. So if that sounds like something you'd like to do, let's talk about it. My breaking point. So there we were, negative $27 in the bank, a 2.5-year-old daughter whose first words were seed pod, a 6-month-old who was certain that sleep for her parents was optional, a $2,800 a month rent bill, and a notice that I had just been laid off from my job. So, you know, things were going great. And to make matters worse, we had a neighbor who was just insistent upon slamming his security door at 3 a.m. every morning, waking not only myself, but the exhausted Cari and also the baby every single night. Now, in one of my less than proud moments, I sort of just snapped and ran out there in the middle of the night and started a fight with them over this. And I'm not gonna lie, it got out of hand quickly. In fact, it escalated to a point where 8 cop cars had to show up to keep the peace. I only managed to stay out of jail for the night because I'm good at words. But in reality, I was broken. Certainly not the jovial individual that you've all grown to know and love. That's when Cari looked at me and said, we need to do something different. We need some space, some like real live space between us and the next folks. She was right. But in retrospect, I'm sure she was just afraid that if we didn't put some distance between us and everybody else, I was either going to end up in prison or worse. One thing was for sure, the way we were living wasn't working for us and something needed to change. The turning point. We needed a new plan, and it wasn't going to be begging the banks for a loan they were never going to give us, nor was it going to be finding another place to rent, nor could we wait for the neighbors to move. And that's when Cari dove into research mode like a mom possessed. In so doing, she found the site that literally changed everything for us, billyland.com. Now, I'll admit, my first thought when I saw that site was, that's the definition of janky. I was convinced we were going to end up on an episode of World's Worst Internet Scam Disasters. But Cari kept digging. She read every review, she emailed the site, she spoke to people there, she asked every question that you could possibly imagine. All the while, I'm thinking that we're going to scrape together any money we can and wire it to a Nigerian prince. Then we found a listing. 3 acres, owner financed, no credit checks, no banks, because, man, them banks. Just $300 down and a dotted line to sign on. And the auction was ending in 3 days. So how exactly did we go from negative $27 in the bank to arriving on the land? Well, a simple 3-step process. Or maybe 4. I never actually counted. Step 1, discover billyland.com for yourself. Now, I found if you search Billyland, it's gonna come up with the individual states and it's gonna seem like there's only 1 or 2 listings. So actually go to billyland.com so that you end up at the main page. Go ahead and sign up for an account and then start looking through the listings. Maybe you already have an idea of where you want to end up. Look for that state. You can sign up for a mailing list that has to do with when new properties from that state show up. Now, mind you, when you see one of these listings, it's gonna say bid amount, $561. The auction amount is just for the down payment. If you go into the listing, it's very clear how much the overall property price is, what the payments would be at the different terms that you can choose, because you can choose what terms work best for you. Go through and read the entire listing. There's links in it that'll have county regulations, or if it's in an HOA or a POA, what the CC&Rs are. Make sure you read everything about it that you can on that site. At the top of the listing, there's going to be an APN number. You can take that APN number and go to the county website and look up that property and find out all kinds of different information about it. And then once you've done all your due diligence, you can either make a bid for the down payment, or you can just press the buy now button, which is going to have a down payment price that you can pay just to avoid having to get outbid in the last minute by some other fella. Now, when we got to the point where we had done all of our research on the property that we really liked, we only had a couple of days to come up with the money for the down payment. So we moved on to step 2, the yard sale hustle. We decided if we didn't need it on our new adventure, it was up for sale. Come one, come all. We took basically everything out of our house and put it in the front yard and started carnival barking like a Billy Mays possessed. Yard sale, yard sale. The couch, gone. $16 sold. The TV, gone. You've only got a quarter, child. You're gonna have to come back with your parents. The weirdest thing, you want what now? Somebody actually bought my old wrestling medals. But you know what they say? In Philadelphia, it's worth $50. 2 days and we had had the yard sale of the century. You get a tchotchke, you get a tchotchke, and you get a tchotchke. When we took what was left over inside, the house was a lot emptier, but our pockets were full enough to be able to go to the Rite Aid across the street and buy a gift card in order to do this transaction, because we still had the negative $27 in the account and we made almost exactly $300. We put in the numbers and we clicked buy now. About 25 minutes later, we got a call from Crystalline over there at Billy Land, who over the years has become my buddy. She sent us over some paperwork to sign. It was shockingly simple. There wasn't 50 million initials that I had to put on. Just a couple of signatures, a couple initials, and that was it. We were under contract with an owner-financed property. It was ours. And that's when the fun started. Step 3, the hustle continued. We had given 30 days notice the day after the yard sale, so we had exactly a month at this point to sell off everything else that we owned. Hello? Come up with enough money for the things that we thought we were gonna need. We sold a little car. Well, sir, you drive a hard bargain, but we sold the entertainment center. I like the cut of your jib, so you've got a deal. We started making posts on Craigslist and no, I'm sorry, I'm not the guy from the Missed Connections ad. All right, have a good day. Best of luck to you. Facebook and no, I'm sorry, the bathtub-sized fondue dish is already sold. Just getting rid of everything that we possibly could. Sold, 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 sold. Came up with enough money to buy a little travel trailer. Sold, 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 sold. And a sort of beat up SUV. We've sold it all. When our 30-day notice came to an end, we packed up everything else that we had in that travel trailer. We loaded up the kids and we split. 14 hours later, on the road with 2 small kids, and in the middle of the night, pitch black outside, we arrived here, and what happened next is a story for another day. But that's how we pulled it off. Hi there, future editor Jason here. And I bet you're wondering why I chose to turn that last scene into a bank heist montage. Man, them banks. I mean, are you not entertained? One thing I found out when I was talking to Crystalline was that Billy Land guarantees a clean title, no liens, no encumbrances on every one of their properties, which was a huge weight off my shoulders. I really didn't know what other questions to ask because I didn't know what I didn't know. And she just kind of walked me through everything that I should ask and gave me the answers. It was a great experience. And after 12 years of being their customer, I can say now they're super legit. So what was that bonus tip that was going to open exponentially more options for you than we ever had? Well, in the 13 years that we've been out here and the just over a decade that we've been working on trying to help other people to accomplish what we've been able to accomplish, I've learned a few things. And one of them, which I shudder to say because Billy Land was good to me, and although this is not sponsored and they don't pay me for this, I feel a type of loyalty to them because of what a great experience I had. But the truth is, Billy Land's not the only option. And if Billy Land doesn't have the type of land that you want or something that fits your needs specifically, I want you to go and use my very simple search term to find other opportunities that are similar. All you have to do is search raw, undeveloped, owner-financed land, and then you could even add a region, and literally dozens of other platforms are going to come up. Now, one that I have checked into and done my research on and talked to the owner of, and actually I've even worked with in the past, is landlimited.com. They're legitimate. And I have a bunch of other friends who have done similar things and swear by the platforms that they found, but I've never used those as a customer, so I feel some type of way about recommending that you use them. Not to say that they're not legitimate, just check into them first. Do your due diligence, make sure that they've been in business for a while, read their reviews, talk to the people in the office. So just make sure to check them out before you send them a dime. We started this adventure 13 years ago with nothing but sort of a wild dream. A little bit of necessity, a couple of kids, and a whole lot of hustle. Now we have 5 kids, a modest little house, the solar panels, the batteries, rainwater. We even got the property next to us. And the best part is, it's all paid for, which gives us the freedom to live life for a living, which, yes, I should put on a t-shirt. And sure, we've made it through some really hard times. Really, really hard times. Cari and I have had our ups and downs, but we're stronger than we've ever been. And finding this land gave us the opportunity to build something real for ourselves at a time when it didn't seem like better was possible. If this sort of off-grid living and homesteading lifestyle is what you want, all I can say is that if we could pull it off from scratch, so can you. I actually wrote a workbook that walks you through the whole process of finding land, even if you have very little money. And you can download it from the link in the description for whatever you want to pay, even if what you want to pay is nothing. I sincerely hope it helps you get where you want to go. And gosh darned it, if this video made you feel like off-grid living and homesteading is possible, hit the subscribe button, or don't, because I'm not the boss of you. But I will say, a whole lot of story has occurred between then and now, and we're going to share it all. So I hope to catch you in the next one.